So now in this video we're going to take a quick look at the resistor color code. So now to begin with, resistors have a tolerance. They generally are not perfectly their value. If you have these older beige ones, it might be 5%. They tend to have a gold band right there. Whereas the blue resistor might be 1%. They usually have a brown there. So what that's saying is that this is probably, maybe 5% higher than its rated value, maybe 5% lower. Whereas the blue one might be 1% higher than its rated value, and maybe it's 1% lower than its rated value. If you buy really cheap resistors, maybe it's even worse than that. So that means if you have a 100 ohm resistor that's in this blue packaging and has a brown 1% tolerance right there, the tolerance band is what matters most, then that means that it might actually be 99 ohms at the lower end, or maybe even up to 101 ohms. And I have cheap resistors that it actually is a little bit worse than that, but it's pretty close. Then if you have one of the beige resistors right there, they tend to have the gold band right there. And so it might be, 95 ohms at the lower end and up to 105 ohms at the higher end. It could be anywhere in that range if it's a 100 ohm resistor. So now once you determine which one's the tolerance band, hopefully it's farther away. That makes it easy. Yeah, you set that to the right. Sometimes they're kind of spaced together and it's hard to tell. But in any case, after you got the tolerance, then you put that to the right. The left band there is the first digit. So brown is a common first digit 1. So I'm not going to read off the numbers. You can read it there. That's really common for 100 ohms, 1,000 ohms, or 10,000, whatever. If it starts with 1, it's a brown band, as you can see there. Then we have our second digit. So both of these have second digits. And, the two, when they come up with the rated values, they tend to have two of them that could, might be 0, but usually it's, often it's other numbers. So in any case, that gives us our second digit. So you can see with the 220 there, we got red, same number, same color right there. 47, we got a yellow and violet for 47. Same with that one right there. Whereas these are all 10, so they all have black for the second digit. And that brings us to the multiplier. So there are 3 bands and plus the tolerance right there for the beige resistors, whereas the blue resistors have 4 bands plus the tolerance band, so 5 total right there. So there could be another digit right there. Usually it's black though, for these, for 0, but in any case, what the tolerance means, it's basically how many more zeros you have after these to make it more simpler. If it's to make it simple, if it's one of these colors right there. So with the 100 ohm resistor, we got 1, 0, and then 0. So that's 100 right there. This black band means there's no more zeros. Hopefully that makes sense. For the 1000 ohms, we got brown 1, 0, 0. So that's 100. But then we got brown there. So that's 1 more 0, which is the same as times 10, however you want to look at it. So that's 1,000, and then 10,000. So these numbers are easy. So again, we got 1, 0, 0 for 100, and then we got 2 more zeros, or times 100 right there. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's for the blue resistors. When it comes to the beige ones, so we got 100, we got 1, 0, so that's all the digits we have for this. Now we got the multiplier. We got brown for 1 more 0, 100, or times 10. For the 1,000 ohms, we got 1, 0, and then 2 more zeros, or times 100. And of course, for 10,000, same thing. We got 1, 0, and then 3, orange for 3 right there, 3 more zeros. And if you're using, resistors that are in the tens or single digit ohm of resistors, then there's a couple other colors that you might see. So gold right there. So as we said, if it's black, whatever these 3 numbers are, that's going to be the value of the resistor. So if it's brown, black, that's 100. If it's black again, that means it doesn't change that number. It's 100. But with gold, it's 0.1. So whatever this number is, now we move the decimal point over 1 spot right there. So if it's brown, black for 100, you move the decimal point over. Now it's 10. so it's 10%. If it's silver for the multiplier right there, you move the decimal point, move the decimal point 2 spots right there. So it's a single digit, but if it's like red, that means it would be 2.2. Hopefully that makes sense. But whatever this number is, if it's these blue ones with 5 bands, which they tend to be, then if you see a silver one, whatever number you come up with there, move the decimal point there, it's 1% of that. So 220, then move that over, it's actually 2.2 with that multiplier. Hopefully that makes sense. These don't come up a whole lot, but if you need like a 1 ohm resistor or a 10 ohm resistor right there, it's going to be in packaging. Like these are all labeled here, and it includes the color code. So yeah, just pay attention. If you got a 1 ohm resistor, you'll just notice you got a silver multiplier right there. Otherwise, the color code works the same. So, you know, this may seem like a lot. You do have like a lot of different options that you could have for the color code there. But one thing to be aware of is, you know, 1 0 is probably the, you know, like maybe like half of the resistors you use. Begin with like 1 0. And so you just gotta have the multiplier. 2 and 2 is also very common. So is 4 and 7. I think at one time those were like the main values you would get from a kit. A lot of kits just had 3 values. So if you hear E3 series of resistors, that means it has like these 3 values. And I didn't memorize like the other values, but you know, if this factory cranks out like 6 certain values for the digits right there, then that would be the E6 series. So I think there's actual numbers to go with that, but I didn't memorize it or something. It's not a big deal. Main thing is these are the 3 that you'll probably see the most, you know, but a lot of other ones come up. But in any case, you take resistors out of the package when you're building your circuit and whatnot. So, you know, it'll just help you to remember what its value is if you're familiar with the color code right there. But like if it's 15, it'll be brown, green right there. And, you know, you're familiar with the color code. Hopefully you can pick that up quickly right there. But in any case, I'm going to end it there. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out one of the other videos I posted on the screen and check out the links down below. They all help out a lot. I'll see you in the next video.